Hello, thanks for tuning in and welcome to the pool party. I hope you can swim because we're definitely diving into the deep end with a huge splash of truth, facts, evidence, information, and proof. Swim. Say what you mean. It's talk about talking. How we listen, how we hear, how we speak, how we hear what we're listening to when we speak, how a listener hears what we're saying, if what we're saying, what they're actually hearing and or understanding. Is it clear? Swim. Say what you mean. Well, that's just the beginning of understanding, because after we get that understanding, how do we accept it? How we respond if it's not what we expect is paramount. Are you okay with the truth? Are you man, woman, human, or spiritual enough to accept the truth? Let's find out. Alrighty. Welcome to The Swimming Pool with your host, Travis Bridges.
Bam! Yes, this is The Swimming Pool. SWYMING. It's The Swimming Pool. SWYM. That is the acronym for Say What You Mean. Are you saying what you mean? I certainly hope so. You want to know why I hope so much? Because I believe I am one of the modern day pioneers of paying attention to what you're saying and letting it really mean something. Oftentimes, I don't know why I've been picked out to be picked on and, being the guy who has this great, revelation to bring awareness to how we listen, how we hear, how we pay attention. But I am. Maybe something happened to me at some point in time that just triggered this gift inside of me. I don't know. But I like to talk about what it is that I'm into in this season of my life. And that is paying attention to how we communicate, how we listen, how we hear, how we pay attention, and what we do with that information along the way. I am totally convinced that there is an answer to every question. There's a solution to every problem. How you get to those answers and those solutions depends on how you communicate, how you listen, how you hear. If you have a problem with someone or a situation, examining it first is how you get to the bottom of it. You have to ask questions. Let's just say, for instance, in your car, if you hear something or if it's just not running right, you have to know what you think it is first. So when you take it to the mechanic and you say, well, this is what happens when I accelerate, or this is what happens when I brake, or, the car starts to pull a little to the left or to the right. That way the mechanic will know what to look for. It's like going to the doctor also. The doctor can't tell you what a diagnosis is unless you tell them, what's hurting. What's bothering you. Is it your head? Is it your shoulders, your arm? You have to be able to communicate those things. And by the time you go to a doctor or a mechanic or a significant other or a family member, and you talk about what happens, when it pulls to the left or to the right, or what happens when you accelerate or brake, or what happens when someone says something a certain way. Once you exchange a few words back and forth, you can really get to the bottom of why something is happening. So with that being said, I want to go right into, what my topic is, and it has to do with relationships. Last night I was supposed to be on and I didn't come on, and I'm not even going to talk about why, but I'm here now. And I went from going from sharp at 9 o'clock to just going on Wednesdays. Now I'm going from anytime between 6 and 9 o'clock on Wednesday and or Thursday. Bear with me until I get it together. I'm good looking and all that, but I'm not perfect. So just be patient with me. God ain't through with me yet. Good excuse when you're running late, isn't it? Yes, of course it is. Anyway, back to my topic. I'm talking about relationships. What is a relationship? The definition I got was a state of being connected. Some words surrounding relationship I looked up had to do with connection, trust, responsibility, links, association, commitment. And I have a clip that I'm going to play, and it has 6 things, that describe a relationship. And the number 5 one, pay attention to the number 5. For some reason, I thought the number 5 one should have been first. But after watching it and listening to it, I understand why maybe they put it there. And I guess I have to be okay with it, because what works for me may not necessarily work for someone else. And I have a weird way of thinking sometimes, not all the time. But I'm going to play that clip in a few minutes. But before I do, I want to get into relationships, my thoughts. Not many times do I talk about myself, but I'm going to include just a little bit about myself and what I think about relationships. I am definitely a heterosexual male, and I believe in relationships. I think the best thing that God could have made for a man is a woman. I just think he's a genius for creating, men the way we are, and definitely women the way they are. And I think, he made procreation easy, because when you're attracted to someone, particularly of the opposite sex, it makes it easy for you to be attracted to that person in a certain way that creates reproduction. I hope I'm saying that right. I guess in a nutshell, as a man, I find women very attractive. And I've had a few women that have found me attractive. And I think that is awesome. And that's how relationship starts on that level, because you have different types of relationships. I wrote them down. You have friendships, you have associations, different people work together and they have relationships in those ways. But for right now, I'm just going to focus on the eros, or the male and female opposite attract, type of relationship, and what it means. And again, I'm going to talk about myself just a little bit. I know what it means to be in love, and being in a committed relationship is not the same as, just meeting someone or hanging out or getting to know someone. I have come to realize that my word and my commitment means more than anything. Being single for so long now, I think my commitment really means something. And the day that I give that to someone again for a lifelong commitment, it will be something special. And I just don't feel that, with where I've come. And I hear other single people talk, and I watch documentaries and motivational stuff on relationships. And gosh, I've heard so many people say so many things. And especially, these modern, social media people, they are really going all the way in as it relates to the differences and the compatibilities between men and women these days, especially when you start talking about modern women and modern men. Just things have just come a long ways. And as it relates to relationships and getting along with someone, very touchy subject. And if you talk about a man in his place or a woman in her place, it can get kind of touchy, and you can get in trouble and create some enemies fast when you talk about, people being in their places. But knowing where you fit in helps you to get in. If you think you're in one place, but you're really not, that could be trouble for you. If you think someone feels or thinks a certain way about you and they don't, that could be also a problem. Knowing your place, knowing your role is very important. And you can find that out just by communicating. And let me just throw a for instance out there. If you like someone and you're getting to know them, it's important to just be patient, with other people. Not everybody is in the same place. Not everybody wants to be in a relationship. Not everybody wants to be in love. not everybody wants to be committed on that high level. So you have to kind of sort of know your place. But I will skip over all of the euphoria and, the excitement and get right into the commitment part. Once you have made a commitment to a relationship that involves someone or a commitment to someone, the game really does change at that point. The moment a man says, okay, I'm committed to you, or a woman says, I'm committed to you, and they decide that they're going to be exclusive, that's a really big thing. But while you're dating or getting to know somebody, it's important that you know your place. And more important, know where you're not, because it can create, problems. I don't think I've lost my train of thought. I know I haven't, but I just want to go on with the meat of what I'm talking about. Relationships have different places. You can really care for someone or really not like someone and have different reactions to that person or those people. So, in a nutshell, I wished I had my guest on. I'm going to have a guest in about another week. I have someone that committed, to coming on with me. And I've been enjoying coming on by myself because I get to control my time. And I'm going to be out of here probably in another less than 15 minutes. But I do have a guest that's working on a schedule, and we're just going to have some random thoughts coming up. And I'm going to get back into, having the guest on. But right now I'm just enjoying just throwing my thoughts out there. And I'm talking about relationships, commitments. What is it? What does it mean? Who are you in any relationship that you have? Whether it's, a brother and sister, a significant other, co-workers. Where are you? What are your boundaries? What can you do and say? Where can you go and be? And, what is your place? Knowing that is beautiful. Okay, I'm going to play my clip and I'm going to come back after the clip and then just close. But check out this clip and what they're talking about here as it relates to, positions in a relationship. Check it out. I may pause this in between, but maybe not. It's only like maybe 3 minutes. So hang in there with me. Okay, I'll be right back.
Relationship. What exactly it means? A lot of people have this misconception about relationships, that when we are into relationship, it means staying together, roaming around together, talking and making love. No ways. Get this stupid definition out of your mind and think deeply about it. When we are into relationship with someone, our sole purpose is to make each other more and more happy every day.
Okay, that part right there, I'm sorry, I had to stop it. And I'm off camera right now, just talking. Relationships, our sole purpose is to make each other more and more happy every day. I think there's some truth in that, but I want to go a little further and say, taking the responsibility to make someone happy, could be a tall order. If we are content, happiness comes from inside. If you expect or depend on someone else to make you happy, that could create problems. So as much as I like this clip, I'm just going to throw my little extra sauce on that, where he says we're into relationship with someone. Our sole person, when we're into a relationship with someone, our sole purpose is to make each other more and more happy every day. Well, you can do that, but let's not become dependent on outside sources to make us happy. People can help our day, better, but let's just be careful with that one. Maybe I won't stop anymore, but I'll keep going from here.
Support each other in every phase of life. Adjust with each other's things so that one doesn't feel uncomfortable. Taking care of the little things of each other, making sure that one is happy, and if they're not, make sure to make their day so that they won't end up sleeping with disturbed mind.
Okay, I'll say something on that too. If you have a commitment with someone, especially in a romantic relationship, a significant other, going to bed knowing that someone is disturbed is not a good idea. You have a responsibility to at least be considerate of someone's mental state. You're not responsible for how they respond to certain things. But if there's something you can do or something you can say to not leave a person to their own thoughts, get it said, while you can, particularly, if you can do that before, closing your eyes for the end of the day. Anyway, I'll go on.
It's a trust between two, a commitment for lifetime. No matter what happens, no one should end up giving up on another one.
I'll go ahead and agree with that. If I knew then what I know now, I would probably be in a relationship. That giving up on someone after you've made a lifetime commitment, I just really, believe now that marriage in particular should really be for a lifetime. And regardless of how many problems or troubles you have to find a way to stay committed to the commitment and to that other person for a lifetime, because it is a vow you take. Unfortunately, we have to sometimes learn that the hard way, and I'll speak for myself. But, when you know better, you're supposed to do better. And with that being said, a marriage commitment or a soul tie commitment really is indeed for a lifetime. Of course, even the Bible speaks of ways, you can dissolve, a commitment with someone. And as much as I believe that, I still think you can find forgiveness, even with some of the worst case scenarios, that people can get off the hook, when they have made a lifetime covenant with each other. So I'll just go ahead and co-sign on this. It's a trust between two, a commitment for a lifetime. No matter what happens, no one should end up giving up on another, because when you make that vow, to someone, it is for a lifetime. And again, we don't always make it, but we should make it. And when we know better, we should do better. So I'll keep going.
Relationships are not just meant to kill the time. It's a huge responsibility of another person. No matter if you're just into boyfriend-girlfriend phase or married. You just give your 100% when you are into relationship with someone. Give some time to build up an unbreakable bond. Don't think about what's going to happen next. Not every day is a happy day. Sometimes there will be fights, sometimes there will be misunderstandings, but by the end of the day, make sure to respect each other and make them feel their worth.
I think that's about the end of it, because there's only 9 seconds left and maybe I stopped it too soon. But I like that part where he says, respect each other and make them feel their worth. You can't put a value on someone's life or someone's importance, but if you make a commitment to someone, hopefully you hold them in high esteem. And again, you can't control how someone feels or how they choose to respond to something, but you can do your best, to get to know that person and meet their needs sometimes even before, they have to ask, or before they're like, you fill your car up before it gets in the red or before it runs out of gas. If your significant other or your coworker, your neighbor, try to meet a need in advance instead of waiting until, the car's out of gas and then pushing it to a gas station or waiting on, roadside service. I like that part. But anyway, I think this is the end. I'm going to come back and then just finish for the evening. Oh yeah, that was the end. So with that being said, I'm going to come back now. Okay, and I'm back. So there you go. That's my spiel. Anthony Morrow and Christine are in the house with me. There were 2 other people. I guess they left, or maybe they'll be coming back. So 4 in total, and that's good enough for me. This is SWIM, SWYM. It's the acronym for Say What You Mean, and it's about listening, hearing, paying attention. Tonight's subject is relationships. It's not easy, but we can do our part. One thing they just said in the clip talked about doing your 100%. One of my favorite all-time songs from Teddy Pendergrass says, talk about a 50-50 love. I would like to wake him up and say, hey, look here, man. I know what you mean, but what you said is different from what is actual reality. I really do believe it takes 100 and 100 combined. So with that being said, if you're fortunate to have a relationship with anyone, particularly a spouse or a significant other, take some deep breaths when things get chaotic. Listen to the other person. Hear what they're saying. You can't put yourself in someone else's shoes, but you can be considerate of what someone is saying if you take the time to listen. It's worth it. However, if you've exhausted all measures and it's time to go separate ways, by all means, do the best you can to protect your physical, mental, and emotional safety, and do what you have to do. But it really is worth salvaging, just as human beings. Be nice to people, be respectful towards people. And if you have made a commitment to yourself in a relationship, remember that commitment. Again, if water is under the bridge, if you've already separated, divorced, or whatnot, or if your significant other has transitioned or whatnot, you can't do anything about the past. But when you know better, you should really do better. Relationships are about commitments. And if you're over 40 and you're still single and you get the opportunity to be with someone, take it serious. When you're listening and trying to learn, a person, because some people are, I guess, content. I'm going to talk about myself for a minute. Yeah, I get lonely, but I'm okay being single now because of, I believe, the work I still need to do, for myself. I'm almost there. I'm almost perfect. Isn't that amazing? I'm close. I'm almost there. But I think a little bit more time, is necessary for me before I dive into that arena. So I'm not looking, hoping, or scoping. Well, I'm always looking. I'm always paying attention. And I'm always digging the scenes. But in terms of trying to make a heavy commitment right now, I think I'm going to be okay. But back to my point, if you have the opportunity to build a good, strong relationship, be considerate, be patient, be loving, be kind to those people or that person, and enjoy the benefits of a good, strong, committed, exclusive relationship. Be committed to the commitment. One thing I did not say that I'm going to close with, and it's something that I always close with this swim, and it talks about love. I did all this relationship talk and didn't say anything, didn't even use the word love that I recall, but I'm going to insert it here right now. Love is a word, and it has a very big meaning. It really does. And yes, love has quite a few emotions involved with it and in it. Even Jesus is love. But also, when it comes to commitment, as important as love is, commitment might take the front seat or the driver's seat, to love. It's important. But if you're committed to someone, live out the responsibilities of dedication and a commitment, and love will take care of itself. That's my little 2 cents. I don't like to be proven wrong on anything, but I will listen. And if someone shows me something that's not as accurate as what I feel and think, I'm always open to it. With that being said, here's hoping you are having a wonderful Wednesday, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the week. Thank you so much for allowing me to have my therapy sessions, in public here on this platform. And for those who stop through to listen to me and to throw a comment here or there. I appreciate it. This is Swim, SWYM. Say what you mean. I don't know how long I'm going to do this, but as for now, it helps me to get these thoughts out of my head and even some of them out of my heart. And I hope that you enjoy it for whatever it's worth. Okay? With that being said, find someone you need to say, I love you to, or someone that you might want to commit to. Don't say it. Only. And if you do say it, mean it. Let it be true. And be the example that you want to see in someone else. Fussing and fighting, sometimes it's necessary. But let it be the last resort. Okay? All right. Have a good night. Loves you. Appreciate it.
SWYM. Swim. Say what you mean. As much as this information is designed to bring awareness to how we listen, hear, and process, it is also a form of therapy. The little person inside of all of us needs to be heard. As adults, even listening to ourselves is a form of healing, strengthening, and growth. It's okay to speak, talk, express yourself, and be heard, even if you're the only listener. If our testimony does anything at all for anyone else, that makes the continued effort worth the time. Get the words out. You'll feel better, and that's a promise. Thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it.
Ben Sidran, ladies and gentlemen.
You know, sometimes it seems like all the good times are gone. But you got to keep on searching. You got to keep on keeping on. Keep on keeping on. For example, take me standing right here today. I would not be here with you if I believed the things that the people say. You got to keep on searching. Keep on searching. Keep it on cool side. Keep on looking around.
Good night, everybody. Thanks again.